Jakob Butturff cause of death is the question that has consumed the bowling world since the moment his passing was first confirmed, because more than anything else, that single unanswered detail is what has kept fans, colleagues, and total strangers refreshing their phones, searching for a piece of information that, even now, remains stubbornly out of reach. It started with a statement from the Professional Bowlers Association, brief, official, and devastating in its simplicity, confirming that Jakob Butturff had died unexpectedly at the age of 32. There was no elaboration beyond that. No mention of an illness, no reference to an accident, no explanation of where he was or what he had been doing in the hours before his death. Just a confirmation that one of the sport's most talented and beloved competitors was gone, and a silence surrounding the how that felt almost unbearable given how much people wanted and needed to understand what had actually happened. That silence didn't stop the internet from trying to fill it. Within hours, reports began circulating suggesting that Butturff may have suffered a sudden heart-related medical event, the kind of explanation that tends to spread quickly, because it fits a familiar and tragic pattern seen before with other young, seemingly healthy athletes. But here's the part that matters most, and the part that far too many retellings of this story have glossed over. That claim has not been confirmed, not by his family, not by any medical examiner, not by the Professional Bowlers Association itself. It exists only as an unverified detail repeated across social media and various outlets, gaining traction simply through repetition rather than through any official confirmation. That distinction between what is being said and what is actually known is the entire crux of this story. And it's worth sitting with, because in the age of instant information, speculation dressed up as fact spreads faster than the truth ever can. To understand why this uncertainty feels so heavy, you have to understand who Butturff actually was and just how much he still had ahead of him. He wasn't a fading name from the sport's past, he was very much in the middle of building his legacy. Coming up through Las Vegas and Arizona, he developed a distinctive playing style built around a rare double-jointed wrist, producing a corkscrew release that made him instantly recognizable on tour, the kind of technique that made broadcasters pause their commentary just to admire it. His breakout came in 2016, a season so dominant it set records, 9 regional titles in a single year, along with Player of the Year honors across multiple regions, numbers that signaled the arrival of a serious, generational talent. From there, his career only grew, eventually totaling 27 PBA Regional Tour victories, a major championship win at the USBC Masters, and a place on Team USA, where he helped secure medals in international competition and set scoring records that at the time of his death still stood unbroken. All of that achieved by the age of 32, an age where many athletes across other sports are only just entering the prime years of their careers. And that's exactly what makes the uncertainty around his death so difficult to sit with, because it wasn't the end of a long, completed story, it was the sudden interruption of one that was still very clearly being written. As tributes began pouring in from fellow competitors, the emotional weight of the loss became even more apparent. One veteran player described the news as something that felt almost impossible to accept, calling it soul-crushing, and admitting that the tour would carry this loss for a long time to come. Another spoke about being in complete shock, calling it horrible and tragic, and describing Butturff as one of the kindest people the sport had ever known. These weren't detached professional statements, they were the raw words of people who had spent years traveling alongside him, competing against him, and considering him a genuine friend, which only deepens the frustration surrounding the lack of clarity about what actually happened in his final hours. As the days passed, his family requested privacy, a request that has, so far, been respected, meaning no further explanation of the circumstances surrounding his death has been made public, and no timeline has been given for when, or if, additional information will be released. That absence of clarity has left the bowling community suspended in an uncomfortable space, mourning someone deeply admired while simultaneously being unable to fully process how or why this happened. Because grief without explanation tends to linger differently than grief with answers. It raises questions that, for now, remain unresolved. Will an official cause of death ever be confirmed publicly? Or is this a detail that his family may choose to keep private permanently? A decision that would certainly be within their right, but one that would leave fans forever wondering. What is certain, amid all of this uncertainty, is the shape of what he built during his time in the sport. A career defined by dominance, generosity, and genuine warmth toward everyone who crossed his path, cut short in a manner that, as of now, remains only partially understood. And perhaps that unresolved nature is precisely what makes this story linger so much longer than a typical tragic headline. Because until an official cause is confirmed, if it ever is, the bowling world is left holding two things at once: deep admiration for an extraordinary career, and an unanswered question about its ending that may, in the end, never be fully put to rest.